On today's episode of Plush Conversations.
When she thought about buying her first home, I couldn't think of no one else but you. Well, I was previously renting a 2-bedroom apartment, and I just felt like I wasn't really getting my money's worth. I'm just a very impatient person. Hey, when are we gonna be done? When can I sign? When can I move in? Like, why is this taking so long?
He was like, she's impatient.
Well, does that matter? Like who cares about that? Well, my process was totally different. I just didn't want that for her. I think it just reaffirms that I just don't have any patience. And I want things the way I want them. Like I set a goal to put this much in my savings, and then sometimes I kind of go over. I just need to stop doing that. Like I never thought it was gonna come true that fast, and I didn't think I was gonna be able to like sustain my same life that I was trying to live before.
And later on, stay tuned for a sneak peek inside this beauty.
Threw up in my guest room. Like a douche, I feel like I would be uncomfortable. Right.
Y'all are just leading some boring lives.
We have twerking contests all the time.
She's young, she's beautiful, ambitious, very educated, and she's a homeowner. Join me as I sit down with Miss Keisha Perry as we venture through her home buying process and figure out how she bought her own.
My name is Keisha Perry, and this is her mom, Terrell Perry, and we have had the PLUSH experience.
Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today on Plush Conversations. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. We're both good.
Good. So the first, I was a referral to you, right? I think about 85 to 90% of my business are referrals. Talk to me about how that referral rate worked and how it got to you, Keisha.
Well, I got it from my mom.
How did that work, Mom?
Well, actually, I work with Tawana Foster, and when she went through her home buying experience, she totally enjoyed it, didn't have any issues. And then she referred another coworker, Paulette Watkins, and her experience was the same. So when she thought about buying her first home, I couldn't think of no one else but you.
Wow. And how did that thought, and thank you for that. How did that thought come about for you, Keisha? Because, you always have well, maybe just me, my small mind. Prior to real estate, I would think, oh, well, buying a house is for adults, and adult is not 18, adults like 40 and up, right? So then you get older and you realize, well, no, an adult is 18. So I actually say to you specifically, that I'm extremely proud that you actually purchased a home at a younger age that most people wouldn't own a home. How did that idea come to you? Why did you choose to buy versus rent?
Well, I was previously renting a 2-bedroom apartment for 1,700, and I just felt like I wasn't really getting my money's worth. So I felt like buying a house, I would have more space for the same amount or even less. So
Right. Are you paying less? I don't even know what you pay. Was it more or less?
I'm paying less. It's like $50, but it's still $50.
Right, for three levels, right?
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Love it. Walk me through your buying process, the good, the bad, everything. If there was even bad, just walk me through that process.
Well, I don't really think it was any bad to it. I'm just a very impatient person. So when it came to like looking at houses and then the house not looking the way I want it to look, or I liking it and my parents not liking something about it or having their input, it would kind of frustrate me. But other than that, I think it was a pretty smooth and fast process. Like I thought it would take a lot longer than it did. It was pretty smooth.
And you're right, because you in particular probably had a handful that I can really count within the last year or two that were actually fast. That's actually not the normal process. So with you saying that you're impatient, do you feel that that was a draw for you? Because I know you said you felt like it was fast, but with you being impatient, quote unquote,
Yeah.
did that fit what you thought before going in?
Well, it fit what I thought going in. It was just mainly like after the offer was accepted, like that process to me, I was like, okay, when are we going to be done? When can I sign? When can I move in? Like, why is this taking so long? Why, why haven't we closed? But in like a general mind sound, like that's still faster than like what I thought. Like I thought it would be like a 6 month process, and I think we were like what, a month, if that.
Yeah, exactly. And we literally went out one
Yeah.
time
Right. Right.
and we looked at several homes, and you actually had a toss up. There was like one you were kind of like you couldn't decide. That's not normal. That's not the regular process. Most likely, I feel like the average client, the average buyer goes out at least, 2 to 3 times to find a home they like. And then getting the offer accepted is a whole nother deal, right? So that, yeah, God must have known. He was like, she's impatient. Anytime you go into the buying process or selling, but especially with buying, I always tell people be prepared to possibly be frustrated or a little overwhelmed or any of those things. So, talk to me about what rang true for you out of that.
For me, it was like, because that was my first time buying a home, my first time looking at a home. So I don't know what to expect. So of course they're like, well, you should think about this and you should look at that. And I'm just like, well, does that matter? Like, like who cares about that? Just not knowing what to fully expect. So I feel like that was probably the most frustrating part for me, having to accept like they do know what they're talking about. They have done this before.
Did you hear that? Do you want me to send you this recorded? You hear that? And how was that for you, Mom? Because, I'm glad you joined us today because you were an integral part of this from start to finish. It was never just her and I, it was always the three of us. How was it for you watching her purchase a home and, like she said, not knowing anything?
Right. Well, my process was totally different. I didn't have a realtor like you. So I didn't have someone to really explain things to me of what I needed to look for, what I don't need to look for. I felt like my process was rushed, and I just didn't want that for her. I wanted her to find something that would be good for her, and I didn't want her to have to do a lot of work once she moved in, because that's another thing. You're getting a loan already for the home, and then now you got to figure out how you're going to fix this, or you want to change this. So I wanted to find something that was just like perfect, that she could just move right in and we didn't need to do anything,
The
which
only
was
thing I
so
regret, we,
perfect.
we should have asked for that lawn chair set up outside.
I
And when he said it at closing, I was like, we could have got that. He's like,
That's right. But he left the bar,
He
which
did
was
leave
cute.
the bar.
He left
And
the
the
bar.
projector.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
that was awesome.
So what do we have we done now? Like, so talk about you. He left the bar, he left the projector. I came to the housewarming.
Yeah.
How was it? You're literally in the housewarming amongst mom, dad, older individuals, right? That could be your mom, like of age, and then some younger, but you were one of the younger ones in your own home. How did that feel that you're literally having your housewarming amongst your family and loved ones? How was that for you?
It felt good because I don't know a lot of people that actually own their homes or own homes, period, in our family. So it felt good for me to be able to do it, and then I did it on my own.
She said she did it on her own, mom. The nerve. When you came up with the idea to purchase a home, how long did that idea come to you before we actually met?
And honestly, it was probably like a week. Yeah, it was actually very fast. Like the idea came up, and I said something to her, and she was like, "Well, I guess if you want to do that," and then it just went from there. It was actually very fast. There was no like thinking on it or second guessing. Like once I said it, the ball was already rolling.
Wow, wow, that's awesome. And so did you have any misconceptions, coming into the process?
Not really. The only thing is I always thought that like you would just show me a bunch of houses and I would just be like, I don't like it or I like it. But I actually had to look and like preview the houses before we went. So that was kind of, I wasn't prepared for that part.
Mm-hmm. So did you think that was helpful for you?
Yeah, it was because it saved some time from seeing things that I probably would have never liked.
Something you may have learned about yourself while going through the process, if anything.
I think it just reaffirmed that I just don't have any patience. And that I want things the way I want them. Mm-hmm.
If you could do it all again, would you change anything? And if so, what would that be?
Not really. Maybe I would have looked at more houses and been a little bit more patient, but I still like my house, so I'm still happy at the end.
And what's been the biggest adjustment for you becoming a homeowner?
Prioritizing.
Oh, tell me about that.
Yeah. Sometimes I set a goal to put this much in my savings of every check, but then sometimes I kind of go over and touch it, and I just need to stop doing that.
Mom, is she doing a good job?
Yes, she is.
And so if you had advice for anyone out there that might be watching and saying, you know, I've been thinking about buying for X amount of time and I'm not really sure if I can do it, what would be your advice that you would give to them?
I would say to just step out there and do it because I didn't think that I could do it. It was an idea, but I never thought it was gonna come true that fast, and I didn't think I was gonna be able to like sustain my same life that I was trying to live before. But I did. Well, I am still, doing the things I want to do and being able to buy what I want to buy and still being able to live my life. So I say just do it because it's a great investment.
So now we close on your wonderful home. Congrats. Tell me, what have you done with the home since you closed?
In my living room, I wanted to go with like a color pop idea. Like my walls are gray, so I wanted something. I didn't want like the boring black or the boring brown couch. I wanted something that was going to stand out, so I chose royal blue, and I think it really makes my living room pop. And then in my dining room, since I have the red wall, I wanted like a marble table that I thought would make the the dining room shine. Upstairs in my bedroom, it's a blush pink and gold theme. I just like the way those colors like blend together. Like they're really pretty to me. So I just kind of went crazy on Amazon and all those websites and just started buying a bunch of stuff and putting it everywhere.
Thank you for the walkthrough. We're going to go to the plush round. Weirdest thing a guest has ever done in your home?
Threw up in my guest room. Yeah, that happened probably like a month after I moved in.
So what item could you buy that would make a cashier possibly feel a little uncomfortable?
Like a douche, I feel like I would be uncomfortable. Right. For a meal.
You know they got those like yeast infection home tests.
Oh yes. Oh God, yes. Right. Antifungal something.
Yeah.
Right. What's something either of you, what's something you do in the mirror that you'd be too embarrassed to do in front of anyone else?
No, I don't think I would be embarrassed.
No.
Your mirror gets no play. Y'all are just leading some boring lives. No one's working in the mirror.
Embarrassed.
No.
Like if anything I'm doing in the mirror.
Oh, okay.
We have twerking contests all the time here when we have family over. It's hilarious too. It's so hilarious.
Mom, are you twerking?
I don't have nothing back there anymore, so I don't have nothing to twerk with. It's gone.
He said you twerking.
I occasionally.
I just want you to know you can't say I occasionally partake in the twerking. You can't do that. You just can't. It's twerk or not. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Read minds.
To really know what someone is thinking.
Yeah. And to know when you're lying immediately.
Thank you both for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure on this episode of Plush Conversations. And tell your friend, okay? Have a wonderful day, and I love you guys.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Next time on Plush Conversations.
We were like that immediately.
It wasn't much I can say. It was already set in stone. So it was the next level after that.
I thought it was going to be a little quicker and a little easier than what it actually was. And we had to start off doing credit work.
It wasn't as bad, but it was a lot of work that we had to do because we started off with no credit at all. So we took hits, we paid off of debt, and the credit score went down. Then we got scared, and we freaked out.
You fully executed this plan under the age of 30. Wow.
Just the weight off my shoulders to know that we accomplished this milestone.
Being young, marrying under 20, people think you don't know what you want out of life. I think sometimes people unknowingly push their negative fears or their doubts or their perceptions of things, and they push them on other people.
And then we sent the inspector in, and then we found out it was water leaking from the pipe. And we were stressing out. I was worrying my wife to death. I was like, I don't know if this gonna work. Our timeline, this, and this, and
Definitely.
And the fact that everybody told us that we couldn't do it.
It's not impossible. You just have to have the right team. We didn't get into the aggressive part. We didn't get into the no nonsense Simone yet.
Oh, well, talk about it.
We had a little bucket because we didn't want to get a new car because we couldn't get a car note right now.
Oh, it's a lot of money on this paper. And we're giving it away.
A tree just fell on the house. You got to worry about stuff like that.
Probably condoms.
Or lube, especially anal lube.
They got specific anal. There's going to be times where you are discouraged. There's going to be times where you just don't want to do it anymore. But at no point do you stop.